Yesterday, Tommy Robinson pulled off his latest Unite the Kingdom rally in London, and the numbers tell the real story. Only 50 to 60,000 people turned up, a sharp drop from 110,000 plus last September. While the media spins it as another big patriot stand, here's the hard, uncomfortable truth. This was nothing more than another Tommy Robinson grift designed to scam faces, feed his lifestyle, and funnel nationalist energy straight back into the safety valve machine. He ran off to America earlier this year, while the rest of us are left holding the bag. The whole thing should be investigated for financial misconduct, and it was completely pointless for anyone who cares about the native British people. Today, we're cutting through all that bullshit. With the dust settled on yesterday's Unite the Kingdom rally, the nationalist scene is once again left asking the same questions. Lower turnout, heavy police presence, and live facial recognition rolled out for the first time. All while Tommy Robinson continues his well-worn pattern of grifting and evasion. In today's video, we're going deep on Tommy's latest money-making operation, why he keeps running to America, and how the rally was really about scanning faces to hand people over to bank coppers, and why showing up was a total waste of time and energy. Tommy Robinson has turned activism into a full-time business. Every rally comes with fresh security and legal fees that somehow never quite add up. The man has a long track record taking foreign donations and living large while his supporters foot the bill. This isn't about saving Britain. It's about sustaining a personal brand and a certain lifestyle that includes fueling a well-documented coke habit that's been an open secret for years. The money flows in from genuine patriots who think they're funding the fight, and it appears into the same old network of companies and offshore connections, including his Stripe account, which allegedly someone saw that had £1 million. Tommy is basically a walking, talking millionaire. Meanwhile, the fundamentals, mass immigration, demographic replacement, two-tier policing, get worse. This is textbook grift. Promise action, deliver a stage show, and keep the donations rolling. Another cash cow dressed up as a resistance. Earlier this year, Tommy jetted off to the United States, networking with mega figures, visiting the State Department and building transatlantic alliances while claiming ISIS threats made Britain too dangerous. Convenient time, he gets to play the international statesman, rubbing shoulders with American conservatives, and keep the foreign money pipeline open, while British patriots are left marching in London under police surveillance. He always vows to return and fight, but the pattern is clear. When the heat rises at home, Tommy finds somewhere safer to operate from. America gives him the platform, the protection, and a donor money base he needs to keep the grift alive. Meanwhile, the British people get another rally that changes nothing on the ground. This isn't leadership, it's calculated self-preservation that leaves everyone else exposed. This wasn't about uniting the kingdom. Police openly admitted they were using live facial recognition for the first time on a protest of this scale. Thousands of faces scanned, logged, and fed into a system so authorities can identify, monitor, and later target anyone they decide is a problem. Bank coppers and the two-tier policing have already shown they'll harass, arrest, and ruin the lives of genuine nationalists while ignoring grooming gang and Islamist threats. The rally handed them a perfect database on a plate. Fewer people turned up because the word is spreading. These events are becoming surveillance traps, not solutions. Patriots are waking up to the fact that showing your face at Tommy Robinson rally just makes it easier to persecute later. It was pointless going because the whole thing feeds the system it pretends to fight. Absorb the anger, scan the crowd, establish the decline, and send everyone home with nothing changed. Lower turnout proves the nationalist scene is getting wise to the safety valve game. People are tired of being used as props for another grifter's lifestyle. Tommy Robinson and the rallies and the foreign networking, all symptoms of the same broken, personality-driven trap that prevents real organisations from ever forming. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this video about me talking about Tommy Robinstein, or Stefan Laxoyen, whatever name he decides he wants next. You know, Tommy, many names, a lot of people sometimes call him, but basically what's ended up happening with this Unite the Cringe, which is kind of like a spin on the United Kingdom, when it comes down to all of the things that Tommy's done, you know, all the scams, including also his ties with Andrew Tate. And obviously, I won't talk about him too much, but basically, Tommy has a very long history of scamming and lying to people. And I like to see that when people make criticisms of Tommy Rubinstein, is that they'll basically defend him and say that, oh, well, what have you done? And they'll basically project onto me, or they'll basically say that, oh, you're talking a load of shit, do your proper research. And a lot of these Tommy tards are very, very thick. And I know they're probably like flies attracting towards shit, will probably come to this video and leave nasty little comments. And if you do that, I just want to say, or ask yourself this. Why is it someone like Tommy Robinson went and all of a sudden decided to go to America? Maybe it wasn't the fact that, oh, you know, these fake ISIS threats or whatever he said. Maybe it might have to do with the fact that, you know, maybe he's been financially investigated with all the scams he's done, including obtaining money by deception and also committing fraud. And all of this stuff, including what happened with the Peter Lynch tapes, as I mentioned in the previous video, where he would basically just essentially grift all of the money from Peter Lynch's family and never give it to them. And all the other scams that he's committed with obviously taking all this donor money, and hopefully some people that were actually there may have filmed all of the money cards or the donation buckets, because obviously cash and coins are very hard to track compared to something like with the card readers, including with all the donations. And I actually saw some of the aeroplane footage, sorry, not the aeroplane, but the helicopter footage of the United Kingdom rally, and you could see a lot of people, but in fact I think there was less people that actually showed there, because I actually noticed there was like this bridge full of people. And I remember last time, even then, when the bridge was full of people all the way at the back, I think there was like, it even reached further than the actual bridge. And when I actually saw this, I just thought, well, you know, there's less people there. Like, that's the thing. You could even probably take the bridge, count how many people are actually on it, and do the maths that how many people are actually there. But when it comes down to it, I don't even think you need to count them. My point is that when you actually look at it, it just looks like, you know, barely anyone turned up, which is a bit embarrassing considering this was supposed to be a big, massive event where people could turn up. And I know that, what was it? I think Colette's lot, I think, with Steve Laws, you know, them two. A nice buddy and very buddy with each other, I've noticed, you know, going around Playfooting, which again, I'm not against, but yeah, it's nice to know that grifters are also there as well, from even the sort of ethno-nats or neo-Nazis like Matt Colette. And people go, oh, you're hecking far right because you criticise Matt Colette. Yeah, whatever, mate. No one actually cares, okay? You know, if you want to curl up and cry about it, you know, you should probably go and do what Steve Laws did when there was a Herman split and just go cry on his shoulder. But anyway, I won't emphasise that on too much, but let's be honest, what did his protests actually achieve? Because I think even the police actually did say they were going to use live facial recognition. And a lot of these lemmings and a lot of these cattle that go there, and obviously don't have any problems with people, I guess, protesting, I guess because they think that they're, in quote, patriots. But the problem is that essentially they turn into trap operations, because what ends up happening is that people go there like, oh, well, I've got a fatana, oh, I'll show my face. When if you do that, then what ends up happening is like a nice big database. And when there's a nice big database, let's say they roll out, oh, if you want to go buy something to a shop, you have to use facial recognition with a database. Imagine if they did that with, like, in Bing Chilling land, like China, where they basically scan your face and like, probably even deny you even maybe something like with universal credit. You won't be able to basically buy anything. Maybe that's probably another reason why this is all being set up as like a trap. So that way, you know, they could fund the state's database surveillance. But that's the thing, even with this protest, I think that what other people don't realise is that, you know, this can get them fired from their job. You know, if they run facial recognition, they can find out with their place of work, or probably even worse, probably have their other family members also have their faces scanned. You know, this is why people should really learn, like, basic OPSEC, like what happened when there was rioting up and down the country, what happened with Radaka Banner, where basically people were protesting, but a lot of people didn't actually mask up properly, didn't know how to properly block facial recognition. Again, I'm not suggesting anyone do anything illegal, I'm not encouraging that or anything against the law, but what I'm trying to say is that people should learn basic OPSEC, make sure that they're doing stuff that isn't going to get them heavily in trouble later on, because like I said, this can get you fired or even banned up on bullshit charges later on. And when it comes down to this, I think that a lot of these protests, in my opinion, this one, like, it's waste of time, because essentially you're just absorbing all the energy to something that can actually be able to get into power and also change the policy, as I said before. But like I said, with all these Tory safety valve operations and grifters like with Tom Robinson, that is going to be an impossibility. And as well, if you want to go in a link in the description, links to my other channels and Discord as well.